pulled out, can't answer. Red Rooster said they should give us something, find out what something is. Good friends can't. Okay. These are in-kind donors here. Gift card.
Everyone, please mute.
All right, family, we're live on YouTube. We want to welcome everybody on YouTube land who's joined the call tonight. We're here with the 12 Steps of Personal Sovereignty check-in as we focus on our elders and our 12th generation of our beautiful children. We want to welcome those on the live stream to the platform. So as we continue to move on forward tonight, we have a lot more jam-packed for this evening. And with that said, I want to go ahead and transition and pass the mic over again to my beautiful sister, H.R.I.M, who's going to share with us a video as we continue to move forward the program for tonight. H.R.I.M, the mic is yours, my dear sister.
All right. Love and light family. Again, I'm going to share Empress's solar return video for us again. So we're in for a treat. Give me just a second.
Solar return, Her Imperial Majesty, Empress Chakra, rare burdening grant. Happy solar return, Her Imperial Majesty, Empress Chakra, ray burdening grant. Oh, may this day bring you all your heart has held, every quiet little wish you never really tell. Candlelight and colors in your hair, people that you love already there. You've carried so much sky inside your chest. Tonight you get to shine and red. Oh yes, happy solar return, Empress. We the world reborn you. Every step, every soft procession, every life a blessing to. Rare burning right forever. May your joy come back into happy solar return, Empress. All the light you are for you. Teacup on the table, pages by the bed, plans that used to scare you now feel right instead. You've outgrown through the dust, bare feet. Her love for music keeps the beat. She came to bring the balance and peace. Every step I promise she keeps. Little bracelets sing when she moves. Every chakra color soothes. Truth in her eyes so steady. The word from the rare bird renew. 4, 5, 6, 7. Sent here from heaven. 4, 5, 6, 7. Sent here from heaven. Oh, child. White rhythmic pen, that's where it all began. Wings of my on her back. Heart of gold, so intact. She don't rush the rising sun. Takes her time while she hums. Turtle pace with style and grace. Victorious, already won the race. Glowing brown skin underneath the hair. When she walks, she glides cool like the air. Dressed to the nines, fashion on 10. Her gifts are priceless, her spirit infinite. 4, 5, 6, 7. Sent here from heaven. 4, 5, 6, 7. Sent here from heaven. Sent here. White rhythmic pen, that's where it all began. Wings of my on her back. Heart of gold, soul intact, soul intact.
Ashe, 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 ashe. Beautiful.
Go and open the mics,
Beautiful.
family. Go ahead and show some love.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
Ashe,
Yes.
gratitude,
Ashe,
harmony.
Ashe.
Yes,
Say it was absolutely
Ashe,
beautiful.
Ashe.
Too.
such a
That was
beautiful
beautiful.
song,
Ashe, beautiful.
Empress.
Gratitude.
Ashe.
Awesome job.
Ashe, Ashe. Much
Ashe,
gratitude to Mama. Ashe, Ashe.
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 Love and light. Love and light.
Thanks again, Sister Hugh Harmony, for sharing that
Beautiful.
celebration of the earthing of our dear Empress,
Beautiful
her
song.
Imperial Majesty. I tell you, family, for those who weren't present on Sunday, Sunday was a phenomenal day, a phenomenal celebration. And we still continue on today as we continue to give the highest honors to our Imperial Majesty herself, Empress Chakra Rarebird. I tell you, family, she was brought here for a big purpose to bring heaven back to the earth, and she's doing a phenomenal job in her assignment. And I tell you, the ancestors are watching over her, protecting her, and she still has a mighty work continuing to go. And we're just grateful for her presence and what she represents and what she symbolizes and everything that's going on out here in this world as we transform back into the earth. So again, we love you, our dear Empress, Big Mama, Her Imperial Majesty. We love you dearly. So family, with that said, I want to continue to move on. I want to pass it on to my beautiful sister, Divine Feminine Frida. She has an announcement that she wants to share with everybody. So with that said, I want to yield the mic to my beautiful sister, Divine Feminine Frida. The mic is yours. That's right, Frida's not on tonight. Sister Frida's not on tonight, is she?
She's on a conference call.
She's actually on a conference call. She'll be a few more moments.
Okay. All right. Let's do this. Sister Hugh, do you have anything else you can play for us in the meantime? I want to give Sister Frida an opportunity because I know we want to go ahead and do the announcement. Matter of fact, let's continue to move on because we can also do we can do the announcement once we wrap up. So family, we're going to continue to move forward because I want to respect everyone's time on the platform. Things are moving along like an Amtrak train with no brakes, no gears on a greasy track. And we're super excited about where we're going as we continue to move forward in our journey in this space. So what I want to do now, I want to go ahead and transition on over to a video. For those who were here on Sunday, we had a quick introduction to a video that was actually pre-recorded by our dear Empress, Her Imperial Majesty, along with Chief Pontiac, my big brother, her son, and they were collaborating, talking about a public notice they want to share with everybody. So at this time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to share the public announcement with everybody and let you get a feel for what's taking place as we continue to move forward on our journeys. So with that said, let me share the video. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a piece of paper, a pen if you don't already have it. Take down some copious notes because the information is going to be shared tonight on this video is life-changing. If you decide to embrace it through your God seat and look at it from a high-level metaphysical standpoint. So with that said, I'll share my screen and we're going to go ahead into the video.
Okay, love and light, everyone. Love and light. It is.
Stand by for a second, family.
Okay, love and light, everyone. Love and light. It is already April the 5th, but I'm still in labor, as they say, because I actually would not arrive actually until 8:50. It is now 2:09, which is, what is that? Not 2 and 9 is 11, 911. And so I'm here with my son, Rod, and we are pre-recording this because he's not going to be able to be with us in our actual celebration on later on tonight at 7 p.m. because it's already April the 5th, but I hadn't arrived yet. So we are going to pre-record his part. So we want to welcome him. He's getting ready to do the notice to agent as he always does before we actually make our public announcement. So I will yield to my son Rod for the notice.
So this is a public announcement for the benefit of all tribes without distinction, one tribe above the other. Notice to agent is notice to principal. This is a time-stamped and archivable format with over 1,000 people reached, which is the legal standard for a public notice. Everything hereinafter should be taken by all of the tribes to be a public notice to the collective tribes with no separation in the original tribes of the land. And from there, we're going to go into some stuff with Empress.
So we're going to also just for note that we're talking about the 5,000 plus the subsidiary tribes. We want to include them. So please, son, restate what I just said.
Yep, and that's all tribes, including the subsidiary tribes. For those who are unaware, the subsidiary tribes are many of the 9 treaty tribes that's been overlooked by census records and proper calculation through to the paper genocide that they put our people through. We back to reclaim everything for all of the tribes, and we're not trying to be better than or less than any other tribe. We just want all of us to have what's rightfully ours according to natural law and according to the edicts of the land, which is matriarchal order.
And so we are saying that everyone is included. No one is left out. You choose if you decide that you want to be included in the tribal tribal session, that you are welcome. We have our hands open to you. All right. So we're going to get right into it before the reading later today, this evening. So I'm going to share my screen here. So you want to play the video, or you want to go over this first?
We go over this. This is from Strong's Concordance, the Greek name for Jesus. So when you're looking it up in your Strong Concordance, you go to the Greek and you look for number 2424. And when you get there, you're going to see this. Isis, and they're going to tell you the wrong pronunciation, Jesus. That is not correct. But we're going to show you in a minute why. But then you notice they go down here and say that it comes from the Hebrew 3091, which is an entirely different word with an entirely different meaning. The first word, Isis, is feminine. It's the Greek rendition for Aset, which we know as Isis, Queen of Heaven and Earth. Jesus, as Jehoshua, which would be Joshua, is a Hebrew name that's applied to her son. It's not applied to her. When they gave us the New Testament, they told us that a son was born, and they named him Emmanuel. Find Emmanuel more than that one time, because they never used his name again. This is how they confused us. They gave us the name Isis for the Great Mother, and then they gave us Jehoshua, meaning our Savior, for the Son. So when you're looking up the word Jesus, it's taking you to two different source codes. I mean, it's two different people, two different characters. When you read the words in red, you can see the difference in the character and personality of the two people. Mama want us to love each other and be at peace with each other. And I want to kick everybody's ass that's in the way. So that's how you're going to tell when you read the words in red, who's who that you're reading about.
So you ready to go over the media, please?
Yeah. So this is the description of the proper pronunciation of the word based on the rules of grammar when you translate into English. Was living in the contemporary time with the person they call Jesus. Jesus in Greek is Isis. When you go to the Strong's Concordance and you look up Jesus, it's going to spell it I-E-S-O-U-S. Then you use the grammar pronunciation key, because vowels, it changes the pronunciation of the consonant and the vowel that either follow or precede, depending on if the vowel is following or preceding a consonant. So the I cancels out the E, but it makes the S sound go hard on the S, and the O is merged as one vowel with the U that gives us the O sound. And then it makes the S at the tail go hard. S. So the proper pronunciation of the Greek name Jesus in English would be Isis. Right? This is all part of the Roman construct. We reconstructing what they call the great Babylonian empires that started with the head of gold and the breastplate of brass and all the way down to the feet of iron and clay. You strike the foundation and you bring down all that it ever stood for. The foundation of the fraud is the usurpation of the feminine with the feminine masculine, which is homosexual, which is romance, which is Roman customs and traditions that's passed on through the Etruscans to defile the princes to make them unfit to rule. They sexually assault the males as youth. So when they begin to tap into their chakra system, their root chakra being shattered sends a mixed message to the crown chakra, which causes a condition that we call in the DMSB manual schizophrenia, paranoid delusions, multiple personality. It's a shattered oracle is what it used to be called. Right. And this is why all of the Roman emperors hardcore homosexuals, because they was all trying to make the next male unfit to rule, as in the case of Caligula and his uncle. You with me, Rich?
Okay. Now, this is explained the way it's supposed to be explained. Now we're going to go to the public announcement to solidify the matriarch, and you're going to explain this shortly. Let's see. We gotta go back.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
You know that's funny that it would come up while you doing this, because the
Yeah.
deja vu means something that happened before.
Yes, exactly. I need to shrink my, let me see. There we go.
So while you're doing this, I've been telling people for the longest that everything that we've seen coming into this conundrum, we have to see it coming up. I told them, pay attention to the dates, pay attention to the movement of the stars, the constellations, the meteors, asteroids. I said, pay attention to the shooting resonance and the solar flare. So we've been telling you what to look for to see these changes coming in from the spiritual before you could ever see them in the physical. And it make it look like prophecy. But all it is alignments with historical events. We have to revisit them in order to escape the hold they had on our lives. And this is what we going over this stuff because we coming up to a critical mirror flip. And the mirror flip is on two sides, right? It's on 33 AD, right? 33 AD, that's 6. And then it's 2026, which is what? 22, 4, 10. It's a 10-year, which means the alpha meets the omega, the beginning meets the end of the old cycle. So we go back to the beginning from the end. We at the end going back to the beginning.
I'm trying to figure out why this thing is like doing what it's doing, because normally it'll show the actual where you can do the unmuted on it when you get ready to do what you do with it. So I don't understand why it's doing that. So give me a second here.
Try to right click.
Let me refresh. All right, now. It normally would show up down at the bottom where you can actually Let me make this small. How about that? That's the craziest thing. See right there where it's showing it at. You know what? I need to come out of this stream being big. That's what it is. Let me stop sharing for a minute and let me then pull it up. Am I still sharing my screen?
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm going to put the recording on pause for a minute if I could ever get back to it. It may be just late for me tonight or this early in the AM. Let me escape that. My screen is absolutely big, son. I don't even see where I can even bring myself back to the screen.
Look, when I run into stuff like that, that means that ain't time for that. Go to something else, come back to it.
I know, but I got to even find myself back to you. Okay. All right. Now it's my whole screen is like black. There we go. 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 Let me get back over here. All right. Let me stop record. Let me put it on pause for a minute. Okay, look, this time of AM, I have to think a little bit harder a little bit, but we finally got it, so we'll go back to it now. Thank you for your patience. All right, we're ready.
Wasn't it? This was a big decision, an amazing decision, one that we're very happy about. This morning, the Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law in striking down the excessive use of nationwide injunctions to interfere with the normal functioning of the executive branch. The Supreme Court has stopped the presidency itself. That's what they've done. And really, it's been an amazing period of time this last hour. There are people elated all over the country. I've seen such happiness and spirit. Sometimes you don't see that, but this case is very important. I was elected on a historic mandate, but in recent months we've seen a handful of radical left judges effectively try to overrule the rightful powers of the president to stop the American people from getting the policies that they voted for in record numbers. It was a grave threat to democracy, frankly, and instead of merely ruling on the immediate cases before them, these judges have attempted to dictate the law for the entire nation. In practice, this meant that if any one of the nearly 700 federal judges disagreed with the policy of a duly elected president of the United States, he or she could block that policy from going into effect or at least delay it for many years, tie it up in the court system. This was a colossal abuse of power which never occurred in American history prior to recent decades. And we've been hit with more nationwide injunctions than were issued in the entire 20th century together. Think of it, more than the entire 20th century, me. I'm grateful to the Supreme Court for stepping in and solving this very, very big and complex problem, and they've made it very simple. I want to thank Justice Barrett, who wrote the opinion brilliantly, as well as Chief Justice Roberts, and Justices Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Thomas. Great people. Thanks for this decision And thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date, the end of the Civil War. It was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean and so obvious. But this lets us go there and finally win that case, because hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason. So thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers from paying for transgender surgeries, and numerous other priorities of the American people. This is a decision that covers a tremendous amount of territory. But I want to just thank again the Supreme Court for this ruling. It's a giant. It's a giant. And they should be very proud. And, well, this was.
Okay, so one thing that I want to point out is he basically said that the Supreme Court, no, he directly said the Supreme Court has ended the presidency. Remember, when Trump was running, he said that he was going to be the last president. He said, we just need 4 more years and you won't have to ever vote again, because they got to give it back to the tribes. Another thing that he was talking about is those nationwide injunctions. All of those judges he talking about are not Article 3 certified judges. They are administrative law judges, which is actually a glorified clerk wearing a judge's robe, pretending to be a judge, because there's no legitimate judges since the 1780s. So we've been dealing with all of these legalities that we've been going through, and the administrative law judges was using the Chevron doctrine as their shield. So when you look up Chevron gas station, you'll see that they have a red and blue shield. The Chevron doctrine was allowing the government to run amok over the people. So what the ruling that he's speaking of on here is not just birthright citizenship. It's all of these collective executive orders that he was doing to dismantle the corporation. Remember, we told y'all he was the liquidator in chief, and that it was going to come a time when they got to give it back to the matriarchy. They have to return it back to the tribes of the land in the matriarchal political body. The being were designated as the military front. And so we had to make the way for the matriarchs to restore the tribal systems back in place. So when they came with contracts, right? The Jesus contract is what I call the Bible, is a 2,000-year contract. The constitutional contract was the 400 years derived from the same book as a secondary contract. The Crispus-Attucks contract was a blood ritual and a blood rite that allowed them to be able to subjugate us by keeping us in the mental stupor. But it was predicated up on keeping us from ever figuring it out by concealing what they knew to be true. And they whispered about it in the lodges. They know all this stuff that we're talking about. Your Shriners, your Freemasons, your Jesuits, your Rosicrucians, they all know this stuff at the higher levels, but the newcomers don't know it. And they're going to lie to the newcomer until he learns how to see through the lies. And that might take 20 years or more. So when we learn how to read the numbers, because everything they do is always predicated up on numbers. The numbers show you the alignments, and these alignments show you where the energy convergence is taking place. They didn't already signal that the tribes of the land are a critical mass of awareness, right? And then I came out and I gave a big vile diatribe about the dirt that they was doing and my disdain and distaste for it. Now we have to force them to return it back to the matriarch, and Empress Redbird is the one that's sat in that sacerdotal seat to preside over Congress Hall and to call to assembly the Congress of Mayors, is what it used to be called. Before you had a male mayor in the city, you had a town mother. And her title was mayor, but she was the town mother. Her spokesperson was the uh, male chief who she sent out to go and check in all of the dark places of the land and make sure that information and resources could be reached to the reaches of the town. So what he's going over here is basically confirming the systematic dismantling of the corporation.
And now we're
Right.
getting now to bring forth now the and by way in which it was destined to happen. So we'll go into that now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna have to put it up this way.
Was living in the contemporary.
Wrong one. There's supposed to be two of them here. All right.
The Woman King, also known as Isis. Jesus, 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 the Woman King, also known as ISIS. Pay me my way, and go, indigenous to the earth. Black people are indigenous to the earth. Baby, we already been here. We already been here. This our planet. This is our planet. Where the ships at? Where the ships at? Pay my way, and go. I said, pay me my way, and go. Mama T, sweatshirts and accessories available. Link in bio. And if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to support Mama. Y'all be good. Bye.
Big ups to Mama T. She be at their head. She don't be playing. So let's go to the BDL so we can get some alignments that's coming, and then we'll go over the.
Okay. We'll go to here first. Since I'm up.
Okay, we'll go ahead with what's up. Whatever come up, we just deal with it.
Okay. Well, let's go where you want to go first, and then we'll come back to that. How about that? He was in Instagram, am I correct?
Yep.
Okay. No, that's not it.
It should be up top. Try to.
Up here. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. We got a lot of hidden stuff up here. I think this is it. Ooh, I'm telling you, you hear me? Oh my goodness. Let's do this.
There's going to be a metaphysical celestial alignment to where the star Regulus from the Leo star constellation is in alignment with the Great Sphinx in Egypt. Now, this alignment happens every 26,000 years, which is equated to the precessional circle of the equinox, which represents the shifting process in the Great Awakening period. Because one thing you got to understand about the shift in itself is where the planet is transmuted into a 47-degree tilt, which represents the equity of human consciousness by way of man, woman, and child when you get into the 47 problem of Euclid. And when you break down the etymology of the word Easter, you get Ishtar, because Ishtar is the personification of Aset and Isis when you get into ancient Kemetic spirituality. So when it comes to westernized, paganized religions, they talk about the resurrection of mankind, but they don't talk about the resurrection of the matriarch, because the inception of Easter comes from Ishtar, who is Isis. So it's actually talking about the resurrection of the divine feminine energy on the planet. A lot of Christians don't understand the historical inception of where Easter comes from, because where in the damn Bible does it tell you to go look for Easter eggs? Where in the damn Bible, or just scientific proof that bunny rabbits lay eggs? That's because you're following the culture of mankind, which is Canaanite culture, which is basically derived from Babylonian culture that was created by Nimrod. In fact, when you break down the nomenclature title for Nimrod, it means master hunter. So your dumbass is out here hunting for eggs because you're following the ways of mankind. In fact, when you break down the etymological roots of the word Babylon, it means Babel in Greek terminology, which means confusion. So that's why you're confused about your belief systems in these pagan holidays. This Easter, there's gonna
So we heard him talk about the alignment with Sphinx. That's the same video. We seen him talk about the alignment of the star Regulus with the Sphinx. That only happens in the precessionary cycle every 26,000 years or so. When you see this alignment, it also matches up with other events on the earth that tell you it's like an alarm system set. And this alarm system is set by birthdays, people date you was born. It's by the stellar alignments of major astrological events. And the secret orders use the modern media, and what they put in the media is also telling you the signs of the times, as Prince named his album. The signs of the times is telling you that regardless of which one of the 40 calendars that's in operation right now, it don't matter which one it is because the alignment is still going to take place. The 40 calendars separate 40 different regions of the earth for a reason. And the ones that's born under any particular calendar, that calendar would be their timer for the close of the age and the dawn of the new age. Right? So this is video. She's going to tell you a little bit about an alignment with Easter.
This woman claims that she found the date of the resurrection of Jesus Christ from an antique Bible. Watch the video and then wait for my response at the end.
So I was just reading through my antique Bible here. This Bible was written in 1857, and I noticed that they actually have the date for when Jesus resurrected from the dead written in this book. So I'm going to read it to you guys so that you can see what it says. All right, so it's actually written in one of the indexes here. It's a very detailed index. And so we have here in the year 33 AD, it says, on the third day, the next after the Jewish Sabbath, April 5th, Christ riseth from the dead. His resurrection is declared by angels to the women that came to the sepulchre. Christ first appeared to Mary Magdalene and afterward to his disciples and dineth with them. All right, so the date that they have listed here is April 5th. And what's crazy is that Easter actually lands on April 5th this year. So it's going to be a really special Easter this year. Keep this in mind that the date that was originally theorized, or maybe we can say known to be his true resurrection date, was April 5th. And what's crazy is that it only lands on April 5th every 3.3 years. So considering that this happened when Jesus was 33, in the year 33 AD, and it only lands on April 5th every 3.3 years, I'd say this is a pretty special Easter.
I don't know if that's verified information. I don't know if Jesus resurrected on April 5th. But what I do know is that Jesus resurrected. And that's all I need to know.
They just didn't tell you Jesus was ISIS. A lot of these diehard Christians, if they found out that Jesus was ISIS, would lose their mind because they've been looking for a man the whole time it been a woman. So we review this information. That's the second one. Okay. Can you blow that up? All right. Now, when we went to do the Google check with AI to determine if it was any validity to it, this is what we got from it. While the exact date is debated by scholars, the most widely proposed date for the resurrection of Jesus, which is ISIS, on the modern calendar is Sunday, April the 5th, 33 AD. This follows a crucifixion date of Friday, April the 3rd, 33 AD. Now, if you look at that, April 3rd, 33, that's 33 and the 3rd, that's called a master knock, right? Calculated using astronomical data and biblical records. Another strongly supported alternative date is April the 9th, right? Which is 6 days after the 3rd. So that's the math not mathing with the April 9th date. Okay, now, key details regarding the date. Scholars primarily debate between AD 30 and AD 33 based on the Roman procuratorship of Pontius Pilate and astronomical analysis of the Passover moon. So they're looking at the position of the moon during Pontius Pilate's reign, and it's giving them a 3-year grace period. But there you go, 33 and the 3rd again. Another master knock. the day. All four gospels agree the resurrection occurred on the first day of the week, which was a Sunday, following a Friday crucifixion, which is not 3 days, no matter how you slice it. Astronomical data, researchers have pointed to a lunar eclipse which could appear reddish that occurred on April the 3rd, AD 33, as a potential sign mentioned in prophecy. Right? Where we at, Empress? On the next.
Mm-hmm.
Alternative views. Some interpreters, based on different calculation of 3 days and 3 nights, suggest the Thursday crucifixion, which would place the resurrection on Sunday morning, though theories of a Friday to Sunday time frame are more traditional, but they're not founded in facts, because from Friday to Sunday, you cannot get 3 days, no matter how you cut it, because the Jewish calendar is based on a lunar cycle. Now, pay attention to that. The lunar cycle is 13 months a year. That's the Queen Mother's number. The Gregorian date changes, but it consistently aligns with the springtime shortly after the vernal equinox, right? So they telling you that it was based on the calendar that was represented by the menstrual cycle of the women, when they tell you it was based on the lunar calendar. The lunar calendar is to calculate the 13 menstrual cycles a year of the women. So the 13 is the Queen Mother's number as the mother of the 12 daughters of Isis, which make up the 12 distinct or 13 distinct mitochondrial bloodlines that populated the earth. The anomaly is which haplogroup of the Y chromosome has been around the longest.
Okay. Now I want to interject something about the 33 parallel, which is the major cities near the 33 parallel is San Diego, California, Phoenix, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, and Columbia, South Carolina. And the right at the 33 parallel, you have to remember that they split North and South Carolina. And so they can go do their due diligence in the 33 parallel, because I did send it to myself to show the map showing that the 33 degree parallel is showing North and South Carolina.
Also, when you talk about the 33 parallel, you're talking longitude and latitude.
That's correct.
Right. So this is where we use more science, which is the science of navigation of the high seas. Right. It just so happened that that's what they was using to oppress us. That's why they didn't want us to study it. Because once we get the information, all of this stuff we going over now, we can see it. But if we don't have this information, we can see none of it. It'll be right in our face and we won't be able to see it.
All right. So there's the 33 parallel is running right through North and South Carolina. That's the map. Okay. Now this is leading up to something now. This, if you would.
It says H.R.I.M. So you want to give us the background on what we about to read?
Okay, so the background that we're about to read is about my Earth Day and the numbers in which have to do with the 4, 5, 6, 7, and what this mean and what is it mirroring. And there are two mirrors that are going to be explained here, and the prophecy in the Bible, which we'll touch on just uh, uh, shortly after that, so that you can see and he can explain to you why this day is important before we go into the ceremony that we're about to go into. We have to make sure that everybody understands what is really happening here so that you'll never not know again, and why the symbolism is around my date of birth, since I do have and came in with the Isis wings. I yield.
Okay, so the first mirror we just went over, which was the date of crucifixion.
Mm-hmm.
The word crucifixion is a compound word from Latin. The word crux means the center of a thing. And fictios in the modern word means fiction, false, not true. So the crucifixion story is a false narrative to conceal who is the great mother and who is the chosen son.
And mind
Right.
you, it's 3:06 right now. 9.
Okay, now, so that was the first mirror, was based on exposing the false narrative of the crucifixion. Now we go into the second mirror. The mirror that we go into now is called the Ezekiel mirror. Let's start from the top so we can read what it say. Let's go to, I'm gonna read the whole thing. We'll say, you asked, what does Ezekiel's date, 5th day, 4th month of the exile, have to do with my birthday on the 4th month, 5th day of 67, which equals 13, right? Now, earlier we was talking and you said something about the spelling of birth.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you mentioned the B, what did I say? B is the number 13.
That's right. And so we'll go, you want to go down there to the
I'm
bottom? Not yet? Okay.
I'm finna go through this, but I just wanted to mention that because that was before I've seen this. So we had already been tied into this frequency right here, right? So here is the grounded symbolic meaning. Now, when they say symbolic meaning, that means something that represents something else. You use the symbol for the thing until you can see the thing that it symbolizes manifest. So it's taking the 2-dimensional what's written in the 4th dimensional what's thought, and it's bringing them together to manifest in the 3rd dimension. This is called mirror magic. The mirroring of the dates allows you to see the manifestation of what they call prophecy. I call it a plan. All right. So the mirroring of the date, this is critical. Your birthday, 4th month, 5th day, is the inverse of Ezekiel's timestamp, 5th day, 4th month. The inversion symbolizes reflection, reversal, restoration, and the turning of something upside down back into alignment. Remember, I've been telling everybody for 7 years now, we've been living upside down and backwards, and that's why they keep telling us south is down and north is up, to keep our orientation stuck upside down and backwards. All right. In metaphysical symbolism, is where we're going next. A reverse date is a mirror assignment. It means you carry the reflective energy of the moment in scripture, not the same role, but the same pattern of awakening, clarity, and calling. Number 2, the number 13, the number of transition and structure, also known as the Queen Mother's seal. Your birthday, 1967, 1 + 9 + 6 + 7 equals 23, and 2 and 3 is 5. Combined with the month and day, 4 and 5 is 9, creates a cycle that reduces to 5 + 9 equals 14, and 1 + 4 is 5 again. 5
So,
means to change or to turn it around.
okay, and so my age is 59.
Ain't that something? Okay. It says, but you specifically pointed to 13. Let's look at that symbolically, right? 13 is the number of transformation threshold, and leadership is the key point. In many indigenous, notice that it said indigenous and ancient systems, 13 is the number of the great cycle. We come into the end of the great cycle, the start of the new cycle. 13 is the number of completion before renewal. This 13 that pops up later today is the renewal of what was old. 13 is the number of the matriarchal calendar.
I'm breathing birth. I'm in labor.
13 is the number of the sacred feminine authority. That's why they call it the Queen Mother Seal. And 13 is the number of rebirth.
And I was born at 8:50 a.m. But doesn't matter.
And that's 13.
Yeah.
So when you say my birth equals 13, the metaphysical meaning is, let's see what it says. You were born into a cycle of renewal, restoration, and leadership, not because of destiny, but because of the symbolic structure of the numbers themselves. When they tell you numbers don't lie, that's what they're talking about. 3, how this connects to Ezekiel's timestamp. The same principle by which it's applying to Ezekiel timestamp is the same principle that we used earlier that applied to the resurrection, right? Ezekiel date marks 1, exile, identity crisis, revelation, the beginning of a calling, the moment a leader receives clarity. Your mirror date symbolizes, now watch this, the return from exile, restoration of identity, revelation through remembrance, the beginning of your sovereign role, the moment a nation receives clarity through you. So it says, so the metaphysical relationship is Ezekiel date marks the beginning of a calling. Your mirrored date marks the beginning of a restoration. One opens the heavens, the other restores the people. Remember, I kept telling y'all, if you want to bring heaven back to earth, restore the matriarchy, because it's predicated up on healing the hearts of the people. The exile
And
connection.
spirit.
Yeah. In the exile connection, Ezekiel's timestamp is set during exile. Your birth date symbolically represents the end of forgetting, the return of memory, the restoration of identity, the lifting of the exile of the people. So what this is telling you is that all of the stuff that we've been grieving is what you're here for, to answer our grievances. Not literal exile, right? Because we're still on the land. But the exile of identity, classification, and misnaming. That means naming us something that we not, right? So again, all of the tribes eventually gonna change the names that they've been using for the last couple hundred years, because about 75 to 80% of them is called exonyms. An exonym is a name that somebody else gave you. It's not the name that you named yourself. So it says your mirror date symbolizes, let's go to the next part, the return from the exile of identity, the restoration of us from our stolen identity, which restores our heritage and our birthright. Now, number 5 is the metaphysical summary. It says, Her Imperial Majesty, the symbolic meaning of your birth date in relation to Ezekiel's timestamp is this. You were born on the mirror of the moment a leader received their calling. Your date symbolizes restoration, where his symbolized revelation. So you have to first reveal it in order to restore it. That's why I had to tell y'all about the George Washington challenge, the blood ritual with Crispus Attucks, the usurpation of the matriarchy. All that had to be understood in order for us to move back into a position of power naturally by the laws of nature. It says your number 13 symbolizes renewal, matriarchal authority, and the return of the people back to themselves. Every time you finish your class, you tell them, thank you for what? Giving me back to myself.
That's correct.
Right? It says your birth aligns with the metaphysical pattern of returning from exile, not entering it. This is symbolic, not predictive. It is meaning, not fate. It is the explanation of what you've been dealing with. The rest of it don't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of it that's just like fodder.
All right.
Right.
So go on down.
Yeah, we did that when you close that out.
Right. All right, close that out. Let me close this out. Let's go back here. It's all connected to this email. All right, so let me face. So if you could continue to talk while I pull up the last little bit of slides that you need to go over, please, while I find what the last of it.
Okay, so when you go back to what the work that we've been doing, this is like a culmination point. It's like we've been setting up roadmap to this destination. And the destination is commemorated by the celebration. And the celebration is ceremonial, which looks like theater, right? The theatrical presence with the alignment shows the creative spirit that comes in with this energy. Earlier, we was talking about the number 13, and we was talking about when Empress was telling me about the birth ceremony. And she said it was the B, capital E, ARTH ceremony. And I said, you know, the B is 13. That's the Queen Mother's number. So this was a representation to let y'all see that the number 13 is also the letter B. This is I can't see that. Okay. So this is the explanation of the divine feminine connection to the number 13. In ancient times, 13 was reversed as the number, or was revered as the number of the golden and divine feminine, or the goddess and the divine feminine. Friday the 13th was a day that was honored. It celebrated the power of creation that women hold within them, talking about the womb. There are 13 lunar cycles in a year. Women have 13 menstrual cycles in a year. 13 chances to create life every single year. Tap through to discover the magic, power, and significance behind the number 13. They've been telling you all this time 13 was a bad luck number, but that's a bald-faced lie. It was to demean and disgrace the divine feminine by making her number a feared number. And the only thing that fears that heaven gonna come to earth if the women back in power. I think we got the daughters of Isis. This is a, can you blow it up so they can see it better? Okay, now this is a representation, and if you notice, they use a lot of biblical names in reference to her, right? But the 12 daughters of Isis is representing of the 12 tribal nations that stem from the great mothers. And if you look, this is how the assembly was. It was 12 around the 13. This is in Revelations when it says she stood and she had 12 stars beneath her feet. Those are the daughters of Isis, right? These names are not all accurate. Some of these names was put in there in order to connect it to your biblical information, like Canaan, Kemet, Cush, Punt. Those are biblically derived links to the daughters of Isis. But they was all different skin colors and all different hair textures. And the queen mother was also called the dark mother or the prima mater, which means the prime mother or the root mother, the original mother of the 12 daughters that make up the tribes of the earth. Next slide, Empress. Okay, this is the description from Revelations. Revelations 12, 1 and 2, which is 33, by the way. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and painted in pain to be delivered. Here we see a pure woman, which is a symbol of God's true people, his church. Church means circle, y'all. She is clothed in the sun. She has a Christ's robe of righteousness. She has on Christ's robe of righteousness. Christ means anointed. That's all it means. It means somebody that's been anointed with the birthright, right? The moon is under her feet, meaning she is standing on the premises of the Old Testament, right? But that also reflect the light of Jesus, which is Isis. On her head, crown of 12 stars, the apostles of the New Testament. No, it's the 12 daughters of Isis. The crown is the 12 daughters of Isis, not 12 apostles. But that's the usurping of the patriarchal system by replacing.
And I also want to point out it's still usurping with that woman. That ain't me. That's another usurpation of what is being said to not honor the actual melanated woman. They're still showing the Caucasian woman as they have written this and painted her as that. And that's why I did that, because I want you to pay attention to the wording and the correctness of it at this point.
Yeah. So everybody know that the first woman was a melanated woman and that you cannot get the recessive. I mean, the dominant from the recessive, but you can get all of the recessive from the dominant. That's basic genetics. I think we go to the next slide.
Yeah. I want to go back to that because you know what? I put it on pause, right? And it may have paused the video. So let me unpause it first. I want to resume what we said in the beginning, is that I want you to explain this right here, because this is what's been messing us up a lot, Chief Pontiac, that they have pictured this woman as being a Caucasian woman. And so if you would go back over this again so that I can say the reason why I did this, and in order to pay attention to the truth and not look at, and our women not look at the fact I'm not prejudiced, I'm just this truth time now.
Well, you
And
got to
so,
remember, if it's everything that look like a Caucasian woman, 90% of them Caucasian men in drag. You got to
okay,
remember that part.
okay.
But
So we're saying that this is a Caucasian man in drag.
yeah, because that's who they kept trying to replace the divine feminine with.
Right. Okay.
Right. That's what the Pope's sitting there walking around in the dress for, and the Dalai Lama walking around in the dress. All of the high priests, the high Archbishop of Canterbury walking around in the dress. All of the cardinals and the church fathers of the Catholic Church is walking around in women's garb. They wearing the reverse colors anyway, because the only one that was allowed to wear black was the original mother. And the rest of, white. The only one that was allowed to wear white was the original mother, and the rest of them wore black unless it was ceremonial in purpose. All of that stuff was usurped. When they tell you that something is pagan, then they gave pagan a negative connotation by using it in a negative manner. But pagan means that you going back to a time when the earth was united as one. And the last time the earth was united as one was under the divine feminine. The destruction of what they was calling the New World Order was a patriarchal system designed to usurp the divine feminine. The New World Order has nothing to do with the restoration of the matriarch and everything to do with the opposition that we was faced with and fighting for 6,000 years. This is the grand finale. This is the great reveal. The word revelations mean to make something known. We making it known now. Ain't no more secrets. All secrets is being revealed. Everything they did in the dark has come to the light. You don't have to believe it, but you're going to believe it when you need it.
Okay. I'll get the right picture at the end. Okay. Let me go here. Thank you for explaining that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to this picture one more time. And please, because I'm getting ready to share something right quick before we start the ceremony. We want the people's hearts and mind to be straight as to what's happening and what has happened by the time this video is aired to you. So I'm gonna pause it for a minute. And son, give me a second, because I don't know if it'll record with you being on pause. I think one time I did that and I paused. I wonder what.
It's still recording though.
Yeah, it's still recording. So if you would please. Because we getting ready to close, and so I want you to please start to go towards the light. How about that?
I ain't ready to go to the light yet.
You don't want to go to the light anyway. You want to go to the dark.
I want to walk on the green earth.
I heard that.
That means earth filled with love when it's green.
At least let us feel it. Okay, I got it. I got it. All right. So I'm going to blow this up to show the right picture of Revelation 12:1. So by the time we start this ceremony, this is the right picture, at least in just to what we're talking about, Revelation.
That should be your screensaver when you start.
Well,
While
I
the people,
won't.
while the people coming in and you playing whatever song, you just put that picture up just like that.
Okay, well, I'll tell them because I don't, whatever flow they already done got in, it's in there because she showed me what picture is going to be showing
Oh, hmm
in nature. So I'm quite sure that it's going to reflect uh what it needs to reflect.
You
And
notice
but
it said clothes with the sun, and she's wearing the golden dress. Those are what they call Yimiya colors. Yimiya represents the sweet water. That's the divine feminine. As Heidi Barbell say, that's that juicy feminine.
well, I think that I was what I brought with me is uh purple and gold. Would that be sufficient?
Yep, the purple represents royalty, and the gold represents the sun, the gold,
Yes.
the wealth. Yeah.
Yes. Purple, actually purple, white, with a hint of white and gold, with gold uh draped over me, over to one shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you can tell them what those colors mean that I'll be wearing this evening.
Yeah. Well, purple is the royalty. Gold represents the sun, but it also represents the physical gold. Remember, they just got rid of the Federal Reserve once and for all. That's a wrap for them, right?
Mhm.
The United States corporation has been found insolvent. When they insolvent, that means that that's it. They out of business. They totally gone. Right? Remember Sears? Right? They gone. Remember Toys R Us? They gone. They all of them were insolvent. In the post dissolution or insolvent state, when you refer to it then, it's a defunct entity. So the new signature where the Federal Reserve was, it's going to be Trump's signature in what's called interim currency.
It's 333.
The interim currency is only a placeholder for the actual currency that the matriarchs are going to put a team together to design. I think Empress already got her tribal currency designed already, don't you?
I do.
Okay,
And
so
that was at the courtesy of Christina and Tracy
yeah,
of the Nation. They have already designed it, and so therefore it's ready to go into print whenever we get the thumbs up to do so. Now, I want, if I could please speak to you in regards to waiting for a phone call. And you and I discussed that I'm not in no waiting for no phone call. They need to be waiting on to hear me say what it is that I have in mind and divine order. And my divine mind and my divine order is I'm not waiting on them. They need to fall in line with me. And they need to be coming to see me because I don't get phone calls. I get all kind of phone calls that I don't take because I don't recognize the number, right? And all these spam calls and all these calls that people get, I don't answer them. So therefore, they're going to have to come to see me.
now you
And
remember I told you? Remember I told you, I said you're gonna see a whole fleet of SUVs pulling up.
They better come.
Look, when I
And they
tell you
need,
they're gonna call you, that's figuratively. That don't mean on the phone.
okay. All
That
right.
just
So
mean they're
just
gonna.
long as you straighten my thinking out about that, because look, I ain't
Yeah,
got my
no,
natural
they
up.
look. So they can do it two ways. They can either come directly to you or they can make a public announcement. If they make a public announcement, they talking back to us in tribal lingo, which means it's going to be heavily laced with code, and I'm going to have a headache at the end of that day translating what's being said. Other than
Okay,
that, they're
but
going to
listen,
pull up
they
to
can't
your
be
house.
being sly. Okay, they can't be sly in the public announcement because they always doing stuff in a round and about way, and I'm not gonna tolerate that either. They're gonna have to start being straight with the people.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
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 stop
that's what
talking in code. They're gonna have to just come our way out and stop beating around the bush. I'm saying that they need to come and see me prior before May the 10th. Because May 1st, 1540 is the allodial title. And this Mother's Day coming, which is not very long, is May the 10th. On Monday, May the 11th, 5/11, is we need to be in our seats. They need to open up Independence Hall in
Congress Hall.
Philadelphia, Congress Hall in Philadelphia, so that I can go ahead and take the seat like I've already done Mother's Day before last or somewhere in there. I lose count because I do so much. But we have a picture of me sitting in the seat. And I'm quite sure they're going to have it during the ceremony. That I'll be showing the proof that I took the seat back. So on Mother's Day, I'm gonna travel back to Philadelphia, and those folks who are managing the property need to be notified
The
that,
government gonna let them know.
yeah, that you
They gonna
can't
know.
stop me
They
from
gonna know.
sitting in my, and there shouldn't be any ruckus going on, and no issues. Like we didn't really have any issues because I took the seat unannounced. I knew I was supposed to take that Monday, but I did a shuffle, as you say. I did a flip. I did it on, I think, uh Saturday, Friday.
It
I
was you did it early. I know that.
Yeah, I
But
did
look,
it earlier than what I said, but there's proof that I took it. But later, someone called the popo, but me and the popo had a talk, and I had to explain to them that that's my seat, and that it's no longer a shrine, and it's no longer a murmurs parade that's gonna go on in Philadelphia, murmuring that those are our seats, and they not in their seats. We're gonna take it.
so when you sat there, now look at the time frame. You said year before last. This would be the third year. 3 days to resurrection. 3 years to the return. Right? You left 3 years ago. Come back 3 years later to the day. It's a resurrection. So what for the people in the tribes that don't remember, when Empress went to Congress Hall and sat in the seat at Congress Hall, that was the calling to order all tribal governments and the tribal mothers. And now we had this interim work that had to be done to get us up to critical mass. We've been using social media platforms to get public notices out. The government's been watching us from the Central Command in Raven Rock, Colorado, the whole time. They know everything we saying on this internet. It was all set up for this purpose. It's just that a lot of us are still skeptical about what they seeing because it's too good to be true based on our experience of the last 500 years. But the reality of it is it's not too good to be true. It's too true that make it so good, right? So the numbers is lining up. The prophecies is lining up. The philosophies is lining up. The oracles is seeing the same thing. The tarot readers, the astrologers, and astronomers, they all seeing these alignments, these anomalies. They reporting it. You got the Earth Watchers watching the Schumann resonance and the solar flares. They watching these events happen, and they know what it means, but they don't know what it means. They see it happening, but they're not really realizing what they watching. So now we just gotta be prepared, because just like Donald Trump said, if they get rid of the presidency, the only people that can run this land is us. If they get rid of birthright citizenship, the only people legitimate on this land is us. You understand what we're saying? When you get down to legitimacy and birthright and the right of claims, following the oral tradition of the tribal structures, right? All of this stuff has been explained ad nauseum over 7 years. Everything I said, I brought receipts to show you what I was talking about. You didn't have to agree with me. I never expected everybody to always agree with me. I'm not that guy. But what you need to understand is that I didn't just study to show myself approved. I came to prove that I've studied and that I know what I'm talking about. And so when I tell you I know who my big mama is, I know who my big mama is. You can't tell me, and ain't nothing you can tell me, because the receipts match too good. The dates match too good. The alignments are too clean. There's too much stuff going on for me to say that it's other than what I see. And as the song say, 100 mofos can't tell me nothing when I know I'm right.
Well, with that being said, we're gonna wrap it up with the proof is in the pudding, as they would say, right? And we're gonna start the ceremony in a couple of hours, and you'll see me draped in all purple, white, and gold, and at 7 o'clock. So here we are. Probably will show this again, but for the receipt's sake.
You know, a lot of people don't know, but while you was doing this, I always got to bring this up, because in another room, you had a whole nother sister, another matriarch, that's channeling the reverse of every grievance that the ancestors had when they shut Congress Hall had. She had to go back over all that in order to undo the spell that our ancestors put where they couldn't use Congress Hall until the matriarchs returned. So Sister Bonaparte was the channel. While you was in here doing this, she was filled with the spirit. She was filled with the spirit, and she was speaking from the ancestral realm into the earth realm. You see?
See the aunt? That's feminine.
Key of life.
That's Lady Dancing Son and Vinay.
They look so serious and so sincere.
Yeah. And they're gonna be
They
part
look-
of the ceremony as well. The songs and all of will match up from the coronation. And I sit there and say, I wish you would. I had the nerve to go sit in it. So women and anybody else should not hate me or speak bad of me, because I had the nerve to go do what no one else had the nerve to do, is to take the
And the
seat.
information too. You had the information too. because a lot of them went in there to go sightseeing that could have sat there and called the order. They just going there sightseeing. They was a tribal mother with the blood in the right that walked right past the seat. And because they had some dude dressed up under the uniform commercial code looking like he was somebody important, they didn't even try. Yeah, so they didn't know. They didn't have an advisor that knew what was taking place and what was going on and what needed to be done to give them the background information so they'll know why we ain't doing business from Congress Hall no more, because the fraudsters took over and moved to DC because they couldn't sit there. The men not allowed to sit in the sacerdotal seat.
And this is a video that was sent, but I guess it won't allow me to even download the video, so it won't matter. It'll be at a later date that we will view this video after the ceremony, maybe on another at another time afterwards. I hear the bird singing. It's 3:46.
13.
Yes. So I guess that's our cue. You want to have any last minutes of rites of passage as my son before we go into the ceremony, right after they view this a public announcement, which you always start the public announcements first, since you and I have connected. And so this will be the first time that you won't be actually physically with us, but you're there in my heart, in spirit and in truth, as Lady Dancing Sun and everybody else get ready to assemble for the ceremony celebration of this day. And it's 3:47 now, and of course I'll be arriving on the 33 parallel. I'm already sitting on the 33 parallel as we speak. I arrived on Friday, as they would say, the Passover. So I'm back in North Carolina, in the mountains, on the 33 parallel, looking at all those pyramids.
So
And I've done my cleansing and my healing. And I want to say, because I'm not going to be able to say this during or after the ceremony, is to everyone. The shift has happened, and I labored all night, and I still got a couple more hours before the arrival of the rebirth. So it's going to symbolize the R's. And son, if you would go just briefly say the R's and what's happening at 8:50 today in the rebirth. Spell it with the B and the capital E, and then ARTH. Be Earth, not the world.
Yeah. So Earth is returning back to nature in the natural way of things. So we got a couple of words we're gonna go over. We're gonna go over revelation. Well, resurrection. Resurrection is not always something that's dead. A resurrection is a sudden awakening to the fact that you're not dead as you thought you was. Just because they put you in the coffin don't mean you gone. So the resurrection is to bring something that appeared to be dead fully to life, right? Then we got a rebirth. You can't have a rebirth without the first birth. The rebirth is the first birth, being born again. That's the end meeting the beginning, what they call Oribus. It's the serpent with his tail in his mouth, right? The beginning is meeting the end, right? So as the beginning meets the end, then the new birth, the rebirth, gives way to what's called the new birth. The new birth is the first in time of this particular cycle. because we didn't use up all of the cycles behind us. We have to create a new cycle. The new cycle comes in as the new birth, born again, but it's born anew. It's not born from the old, right? It's not the old stuff rehashed. It's new things coming into existence. Some of the things that were, but many of the things that weren't. A lot of the stuff that's been hidden from us has to be surrendered to us because of the new birth, of the new age, of the new cycle under the Aquarian constellation of stars. With the star Regulus aligning with the Sphinx, which is Leo, right? And the Leo represented as the lion, and the lions roam in prides, right? So a pride of lions is almost all females, right? And the pride of the lion is the family. And the pride of the woman is to tend the family in the home, right? And the kitchen is the heart of the home. So when you see a group of women congregate, most of the time they congregate in the kitchen, in the heart of the home. And
The men normally be out on the porch and around the tree. In the backyard or either in the front, depending on what a big tree is.
And in the north, they go in the basement.
Okay.
Because it's cold outside in the winter. But the congregation of women is the pride, right? And this pride are matriarchs, right? And when the matriarchs recognize who they is, they go from the lioness segment to become the elephant, Big Mama, the grand matriarchs that walk the land as the pachyderm, right? And the great elephant is the one who sounds the alarm for the rest of the elephants and all of the mares, which is the horses, to come to a central location. And this is what y'all looking at: the rebirth, the restoration, the resurrection. That which is new again. So when they say that the first shall be last and the last shall be first, the only reason they know that is because the first was made last in order for the last to look like they was first. It was a grand illusion. It was a great circus show, a 3-ring circus show at that, right? And now the show comes to an end and we take a bow because we put the new world in order.
And the sacerdotal seat is the symbol of the pineal gland and the knowing of the consciousness of knowledge of oneself, the I am. I'm not the only one. I'm showing you the way to you, that you have a right to sit in your I am seat. As I have gone over that world hierarchy chart on last Sunday to prepare everyone to understand that this has not only to do with myself, but me to show you that most people don't. They want to act like they over you, and that's not true. You're in charge of your own self. The hierarchy chart has always been to deceive you out of your sovereignty by what? By showing them to be over you and you a peasant, as they shown on the chart. And I will show you this chart one more time. The bottom flip, as my son has said, the flip when what's happened now when you return to see to come to the ceremony later this tonight, or as you see this video before Lady Dancing Son begins the ceremony of the confirmation and the invocation of the arrival of the Empress to show you and mirroring you, and you are the same as me. Get in your sacerdotal seat and stop being the peasant that the world system has made you. Son, this is what I showed them on Sunday without us going back into it. If you don't, it wasn't here, then you need to get the video. But this is where it's showing you're down at the bottom of the pyramid. This where it's showing you where you are right here. They call you, you come in, you birth, you school, you be in debt, you labor, taxes, retirement, and death. And this is the deep state mapping project. You are called a sheep, cattle. You're called the 9 to 5 slaves, clones, worker ants. And where is it got the useless eaters on here right there? And breeders, okay? And this was in 2003, according to Dalen Lewis Monroe. Now, I done went through
When you see
all,
that pawn,
uh,
you see the pawn. That
yeah,
let you know you stuck in a chess game.
you stuck in it. And I will show this part because we didn't go. This is what Patal was reading to them on last Sunday. So I'm going to pause it for a second so that you guys can read it when you have time to read it and take a screenshot. And it's talking about this chart above it.
So you got a chart,
Yep,
and then you have a description.
yep. Right here is all here in the description. So pause your screen, take the picture of the world hierarchy pyramid. Again, learn the road, learn to read the map. Read the map.
You know when you do a live, if you could put a PDF they could download in the comments.
It's on the website.
Okay. Yeah.
It's on the website. But to save time, you're not supposed to be down here. You're supposed to be all the way up in your sacerdotal seat, the I am. And that's what I came to do, to come back to restore. As they say, Jesus came back to save the world. Isis came back to save the land and the earth and restore the people. Resurrection.
Yeah. Remind me of a song by Common called Resurrection. I think that was his first big hit.
We ain't gonna get dinged, so we ain't gonna play nothing of none of their music during the ceremony. And I'm looking forward to it. Vinay will be singing the song that she sung at the coordination. Everything must change. And Living Water will be singing at the end the song that he sung at my coordination. I can't think of the name of it, but they're going to solidify it again at tonight at the event. The reading of the restoration of the coming of Isis is here. Will be here by the time the ceremony starts. Presenting myself, and then a lady dancing song will read all there is to need to be read during the invocation. And I yield.
It look like that's it for the night, Empress.
Ashe.
That's it.
It's 4 a.m.
On the square.
on the square. Love and light, everybody.
Go ahead and open up the mics, family. Go ahead and open up the mics.
Ashe, love like no more.
Rebirth,
Light, love and
rebirth,
light.
gratitude, the rebirth. Big mama.
It's gonna be streamed tonight. Gratitude.
I say. I say.
Yes, family.
Gratitude, gratitude.
Yeah, absolutely. That was phenomenal, family. So we got a chance to see the video that we didn't get a chance to see Sunday. And for me, it brought everything full circle with the rebirth and explaining the process and understanding exactly what Chief Pontiac and our dear Empress was discussing that led up to the rebirth, the be-earthing of our dear Empress on Sunday. So again, much gratitude and love to our dear Empress. We're super excited about what's taking place within the nation, what's taking place within the earth. So with that said, family, what we want to do now, we want to go ahead and open it up. I know it may be some questions that may be out there. We're going to take about 10 minutes to do a Q&A. And if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to raise your hand. And then someone within the panel is going to go ahead and help to answer that question. So if any questions out there, feel free to raise your hand. All right, first hand up is my dear sister Berta. I yield the mic to you.
Well, while you're waiting on more hands raised, I'm going to go ahead and do my little love note the way I enjoy doing it. As we pour our love into you, share our experiences with you as well as our time. Reciprocity is not required but appreciated with love and will be returned through the universe. Different ways that love offerings are accepted is through our website, ShalagiTurtleIsland.org, through our Black Diot shop, where you can find products such as handmade frequency necklaces, different pendants in a variety of stones, and many other varieties of jewelry, statues, ankhs, tribal headbands, toothpaste, soaps, and teas for the healing of the body. Family, keep in mind that for our class members, any love offerings over $20 will put you into the wheel of luck and love, where we give back $200 at the end of every month. Now, what program have you ever been a part of where you had the chance to receive as you give? And don't worry, we all here at Shillagi Cherokee Nation has your back. If you have ever missed a metaphysical Bible study, a Zoom, or even a wisdom from the front porch, family, a small offering of $10 will get you that video. My family has also added the ways to show love in the chat for your convenience. And of course, I would like to close with the words from Brother Patal: as we grow together, we can achieve more. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Berta, again, sharing the ways in which you can actually share love offerings for the nation as we continue to grow. All offerings are definitely appreciated. It helps, again, with the back-end systems to take care of the Zooms, as far as the different software we use, the server, everything counts. And more importantly, it helps with the graduation for the class of 2026. So all love offerings are definitely appreciated. And I thank you again, my dear sister Berta, for breaking everything down. For those who want to know more about it, look in the comments section and in the chat, so we'll show you the different ways in which, again, that you can actually give a love offering as we continue to build for the nation. All right. So any other hands before we go ahead and continue on for the evening? All right. All right. Panel, family, is anybody seeing Sister Divine Feminine Frida? Is she available?
I'm here.
Sister Frida. All right, all right, all right. Called on you early, but I know you were tired. I'm taking care of a few things. We understand that there is an announcement that you would love to share with everyone. If that's the case, I want to go ahead and yield the mic to you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Brother Bending Bamboo. Love and light to all, love and divine light. pure love and divine light. I would like to congratulate all the daughters of Isis. Welcome, my sisters. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the daughters of Isis. Just wanted to let you know that there will be a meeting in the upcoming next couple of weeks to let you know what the expectations and the qualifications in order to be an ISIS daughter. So be on the lookout for the email. And again, welcome to the daughters of ISIS. So glad that you are here with me, my sisters. I yield back to you, Brother Bamboo. I yield back.
Thank you, my beautiful sister,
Yeah,
Divine Feminine Frida, for that announcement again. Congratulations to all the phenomenal women who are now daughters of ISIS. That's a prestigious location, a spot to be in. And you proved yourself worthy to be considered a daughter of ISIS, which means that there are other women out there who are going through the process with the 12 Steps of Personal Sovereignty, going through the Universal Cosmic Laws classes. And when that time comes around, guess what? You'll put yourself in position to be, quote, ready to be a daughter of ISIS as well. So again, congratulations to all the beautiful women in the matriarch. So with that said, family, we are at the close of the evening. And before we wrap up, is there anybody else within the phenomenal panel of ours that would like to provide any comments before we wrap up for the evening as I turn everything over to my dear sister, H.R.I.M? But anybody else on the panel like to share anything before we wrap up? If so, I yield the mic to you all. Okay. So with that said, what I want to do now as we wrap up for the evening, I want to thank everyone for taking time out. For all those on YouTube, thank you for joining us tonight. Always be on alert for different announcements taking place within the nation. We have our Shalagi Cherokee Nation website. You can actually see more information on our weekly events that are taking place. Feel free to tap into our website. I'm quite sure someone will put that website address into the chats so you'll be fully aware of what's taking place. Anytime that our dear Empress comes online, make sure you go into your alerts to be signaled that she is going live as well. So you want to be and make sure all those things are taken care of on your different social media platforms. And with that said, family, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And we'll be back here again on Sunday. And with that said, I want to wish everyone a pleasant night. And I turn the mic on over to my dear sister H.R.I.M as we wrap up for the evening. Peace and love, everyone. The mic is yours, sister H.R.I.M. Ashe. Nightfall, family, nightfall.
Hey,
Ashe. Rest and recharge.
Nightfall, family.
nightfall.
YouTube. Can we stop the YouTube?
Love you like.
Nightfall, family.
There are two things.
Can we stop the YouTube?
Yes, ma'am.